Well, greetings and salutations, one and all, to the one and only Super Review Show's mixed band coming to you live once again from many caves. As always, I am joined by the esteemed panel of panelists here at the Super Review Show. Bill Murphy, how are you doing tonight?
What's going on, buddy?
It's good to see you. Justin, radio editor himself, how are you doing tonight?
Glad that you enjoyed that.
Love to see it. And Vinny, our dear music aficionado, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you, everybody?
Good to see you.
Oh, wait. J-Man, we must address Vinny by his proper title.
Go ahead.
Dr. Vinny.
Dr. Vinny.
Yes!
My
I
apologies.
forgot about that.
Hey,
Vinny.
we had a whole ceremony and everything.
We did.
That
We
was
had the dubbing of the
ceremony.
Avengers. So there you go. No, but that's the title of this episode. Oh, wait, before I forget, everyone, that we the best podcast.
We are the best podcast. And
That's
DJ
up to
Khalid,
the
you
Lord.
don't have the best music.
No, he
You
does
really
not have the
don't.
best music.
You're
Brian
using
Wilson had the
garbage.
best music.
You really
Yes.
did.
R.I.P. Brian Wilson, who died today.
We're recording this on June 11th, 2025. Brian Wilson, the founder of one of the best groups of all time, the Beach Boys, has passed away today. And I'd like to just start off say by dedicating our show to him tonight, of course. We did our top 10 Beach Boys episodes a while ago. Check that out just check that out too. But yeah, no, needless to say that this is our show tonight. Bill, what is our topic for? It's not nothing to do with Brian Wilson. What's our topic for tonight?
Well, we all love songs, we all love music, but sometimes some songs get under people's skin. And I don't
Yes.
mean oh my God, this song is so overplayed, I want to take a baseball bat and smash my car radio.
Oh yeah.
Which, okay, I'm sure we all have those songs that when we hear them, we want to just take a bat and smash whatever they're playing on.
Oh, we sure do. There's always those.
Yeah. But we're talking about songs that were censored or banned. And, you know, that might be weird here in the U.S. because we have our beloved First Amendment right of freedom of speech.
Yep. Correct.
But some radio stations don't feel the same way.
Not all of them, at least. But go on.
And we're talking about songs that are censored and banned for a multitude of reasons, whether it be content or some due to certain circumstances. And yeah, and everything in between. Like my Yes cover album that was censored for some weird reason.
Was it really censored for some weird reason? I'm just kidding, of course.
Wasn't it? But what's the name of my Yes cover band, Vinny?
Maybe. It's maybe.
It's called Maybe.
They could probably open for the real Yes at this point.
We
probably
probably
should.
should. Justin, you want to come?
Probably. They're touring.
No thanks.
But come on, we're a Yes cover band. We're called Maybe. The other one broke up. And guess what the other one was called?
No.
The other one was called No.
Fun fact, they were literally supposed to have an album out called No once. But it's
Oh
going to
my
be a knowing, like K-N-O-W. They were literally going to have an album with that title. It didn't happen for obvious reasons.
But anyway, yeah. So today we're talking about songs that were censored or banned.
Yeah, and we're keeping it kind of brief, like only 3, maybe 4 each.
Because I got a decent amount of stuff I'd like to discuss.
Bill has got a lot.
Yeah, because this is a very interesting topic, and I think we should just soak this up. And I know Vinny's got some interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling, shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Vinny can go
So-
first. What do you got, Vinny?
Fun fact, because I figured there's a lot of stuff you can talk about in censorship. There is, of course, we all know the infamous Parent Music Resource Center, the PMRC. Fun fact, the Filthy 15, there's some really weird choices on here, I might add, for the time. But there's some really good choices, too, as the songs that were censored. Like, good point. It's stupid to censor anything, in my opinion. But here's a song that really makes sense for the band, but not really the song they picked. So there was a song done by Black Sabbath. Not with this was without Ozzy and Dio, but with Ian Gillan and Deep Purple. This is a song called Trashed, which of all things, Trashed by Black Sabbath is on the Filthy 15, which song about drunk driving, from what I've heard. From what I've gathered, is definitely it's like a ripoff of Highway Star. Not a great ripoff, but Highway Star is a great song. So even then, it's not bad. It's just I don't know why out of all the Black Sabbath songs they picked that one. Born Again isn't even a good album, but it's not terrible. It's not good. Of all the songs you could put on that list, that's not a great choice. It's not really that. It's not like it's like talking about Satanism or like death or really disgusting sex. But, it's still a bad topic, drunk driving. But here's the thing: what's the point in just putting a song like that on a list? What did they just like Black Sabbath? Ooh, we had to censor them. No. And also, to be later talked about by me, there was a court case with the PMRC about music censorship, where some real good points. Dee Snider, Zappa, and of all people, John Denver. There's a lot of stuff that's very important in those hearings.
If John Denver is too raunchy for you, then that says more about you than it says about him.
Fun fact, it was about the song Rocky Mountain High because it had the word high in the title.
Rocky Mountain High, Colorado.
We actually had a really good case against the censorship, the parent advisory labels too. Had a really good point about it. He had a really good point about why doing that was a bad idea.
Really?
I'd have to watch the hearing. The hearings are actually on YouTube for all to watch, of all things.
Yeah, I remember watching the Dee Snider snippets of the Dee Snider ones on the Twisted Sister Behind the Music episode. It was
he had a really good point.
And you know what's
terrible live band. I saw them once, but he had a really good point.
You know what's so interesting about
was it their Christmas show?
No.
You know what's so interesting about that? Is, he comes in, because I saw the I watched a clip of that too, and Dee Snider was saying, like, I'm not going to walk, because he's walked in, dressed like, he's like, I'm not going to wear a suit and tie. I'm a dirtbag. But you know what? When he was talking, he's very articulate. He was very articulate. He was very well spoken. And and this was started by what's her face, Tipper Gore, Al Gore's
Gore, my enemy.
Yeah,
wait,
people.
You're the man bear pig?
Yeah. Go on.
Not getting political here, folks, but Tipper Gore, Al Gore's somewhat ex-wife. They're separated, but they never divorced.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah. And she's a Democrat, and this is back when they were different. So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
They were kind of more conservative on certain things, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
But no, I think, listen, if parents say, this is what I always say. If parents don't want their kids listening to certain music, then that's their business.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
But guess what? We don't have to parent your kids, so you don't have to. So we don't have to censor everything because, what was that, Vinny?
Amen. I agree completely.
We don't have to censor everything because your kids can't listen to it. If your kids can't listen to it, then that's your business. Because I hate these people who run these parent groups who we're protecting our children. No, you're not. You're just lazy. You want society to parent your kids, so you don't have to.
And you know what?
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with the parental advisory sticker on albums. Nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to warn parents of what content their children are listening to. But that's to help inform a decision. Banning stuff outright is not going to help the problem.
Oh, it isn't.
Yes, exactly.
It isn't. So, so that's why I am against the PMRC. Well, they don't exist anymore, but if I was around when they were around, I'd be opposed to them. Because listen, you want to tell your kids they can't listen to certain music, then that's your business. That's not ours.
Yeah.
They're your children, so you parent them and leave us the hell alone.
Exactly.
This PSA from
I'm
Bill.
also very against him as a metalhead. I have to be.
Okay.
So
yeah, so that's
this
was Vinny's pick.
Yeah,
okay,
I
thank you. I
yield.
just wanted making sure. All
All
right, Bill, go ahead.
Got to bring that up.
Okay, you know what? I got a very unusual pick, but I think it's actually appropriate. You know, here in the news that we heard today.
Which one was it?
You might all want to sit down for this one. God Only Knows was banned.
I know about this, but go on.
For
What?
mild blasphemy. For blasphemy. Because apparently it was inappropriate back then to use the word God in a song. Yeah.
That's true. He's not wrong, actually. But I'm surprised you haven't heard about this, Vinny.
Yeah, I did not know that. Whoever thought that, please tell me they're not still in office. It doesn't. How is it blasphemy to bring the name of God up? It's not even a negative way.
It's in like a love way.
Like the lyrics, and listen.
Sticking in vain, or I guess. I don't know.
Listen, of the songs I have that I'm going to talk about, this is probably the most mild one, because there's other ones.
Right.
But I just thought it'd be appropriate to bring this up today to pay tribute to Brian Wilson. And also Paul McCartney called this his most favorite song, one of his most favorite songs.
He called it the greatest song of all time.
And speaking of Paul McCartney, because this was actually a time, this was also around the time when, we're bringing religion into this.
Careful, Bill, because you're gonna get into my pick.
This was around the same time when John Lennon said the Beatles are bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
And as we all know, that didn't go so well.
Nope.
Especially in the Bible Belt South.
Yeah.
No, people were literally burning their Beatles records when that happened.
Radio stations were telling people where to go to get rid of their Beatles stuff. It was nuts.
That's a bad idea. That's also worth money now.
And I wonder if those folks who are still alive are like, damn it, I shouldn't have done that. Those records are probably worth like millions now.
If they're in good condition, they can be, but not by much.
But no, God Only Knows was banned just for the use of the word God.
Yeah.
Which, listen, as a Catholic, I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Complete
and listen,
hogwash.
I get it. It was a different time.
Yeah.
But still, guys, you have thoughts on this?
This is one of my picks, so I guess we swiped right.
We swiped right.
Yes, believe it or not, we did. This is just for all the reasons I'm not going to go too much into it, but you go ahead.
But no, because again, I think this is the most mild one on the list. But I just thought I'd pick it to pay tribute to Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
But no, I think this was absolutely. It's not even saying in vain.
Not
like,
even.
Does this sound blasphemous? God only knows where I'd be without you.
It doesn't to us, but
nope.
There are people out there who, if you mention God outside of the church, they're gonna be up your ass with the holy cross.
Hey, I want to ask you as a genuine question. Do you think the people who look to censor these songs, do you think they have genuine beliefs, or they're just trying to have a cause to make themselves feel better?
That's actually a very difficult question. So, I could go both.
I feel like if it's today, it's a genuine belief.
Okay.
Because at this point, we're at the toothpaste already out of the tube. Like there's no going back.
And because we're in a day where everyone, and I'm talking about both sides, conservative, liberal, whatever, both sides just get offended at everything.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah, and I'm saying both sides. I'm not taking one side here. But
I agree.
But the simple use of God,
like, are there things to be genuinely offended at? Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
But listen, they're not, and God only knows it's just outside the song. That's just an expression. I say it all the time. I'm like, do you think this is gonna happen, Bill? God only knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And again, I'm thinking in modern context. In those days' context, it would be.
Bill, you could say that they didn't use it in vain. They found it very useful.
Oh, I know what movie that's from. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. No, I'm putting it to
I didn't
good
use
use.
the Lord's name in vain. I actually found it very useful, Janet.
That's from The Nice Guys, for those who haven't seen that movie, with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Great movie.
I did not know it was from that.
Very good movie. Vinny, get on it. It's a good movie. Watch it.
I'll have to watch it.
It's probably Shane Black's best, in my opinion.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that is my first pick. God only knows. All right, one of the J-Mans.
Well, we literally swiped right on that case, just letting you know. So,
okay, am I buying dinner or you?
I'll buy us dinner when the money's a little bit better. So, anyways, but
you know what? Then I'll buy us dinner because my money's good.
There we go. Do
you accept crypto?
No. Do not say the C word in my presence.
Crapto?
Crapto? No. Man. Songs that were banned. Well, or I guess you could say censored in this case too, because we did talk about censored at one point. We did talk about this too. I don't know. I don't know if it's on the list or not for anyone else, but one of the first examples that comes to my mind is the Kinks' Lola, because there's just so many. Listen, before I go any further, there are so many like lyrical rewrites on that, radio edits and stuff. It's crazy.
Did you just choose Lola?
Oh dear God, what did I do?
You just swiped right with me now.
No, sorry.
Now you owe both of us dinner.
Oh man. All right. Well, anyways. But in all seriousness, the original lyrics were like instead of cherry cola, it was Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And then there's other stuff in there about like you could look this up, but there's like transvestite stuff in there too. So it's just it's a lot of stuff like that. I'm not gonna go too much into it because I just swiped right with Justin and we lost him there for a second. But yeah, no, this is definitely a hold on, I gotta look it up here. Let me just look on Lola.
Yeah, I think it was more because of the commercial, the reference to a product placement, they banned it than the other stuff about it. That's what I've read.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a law in the BBC against product placement in songs.
Oh.
But nowadays, in certain parts of the country, it would probably be banned for a different reason.
In the UK, yes.
Yeah. Damn. Honestly, this is going to be honest with both you guys. This is a really difficult list to make. So I might be swiping up with a lot of people tonight.
But you know what the important thing is? We're learning shit tonight.
Learning
a lot. Exactly. There we go.
And kids,
we're
pay attention.
getting
There might
free
be a quiz
meals out of it.
And you're getting a free meal out of it.
Out of it too.
Kiss my ass one more time, Justin. See where it goes. So.
That a threat or a promise?
No, let's not go there.
Hey, you two, break it up.
Yeah,
break it up, kids. Break it up. No, but this is my one of like two. It's a really hard list to make, but one of two or three picks. So, but anyways, the Kinks' Lola for countless reasons why. Yeah. So that's one of them for sure. But yeah, I'm very curious to who wants to go next. Justin, your first pick.
Yeah.
Well, considering that you stole my pick,
I didn't steal your pick. I was just making a list.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
So yeah, I also had Lola on my list, so
Okay.
I'm gonna have to figure out something else. But I'll also
you can
say,
still do it. You can still do it. It's fine. I mean, I really don't
I mean,
mind.
you basically said all there was to be said. Like the Coca-Cola thing, kind of a stupid rule, but it's the BBC. Yada yada
Well,
yada.
I didn't know about the stupid rule, so you might as well just go off about that then.
The BBC didn't allow product placements in songs that they were airing, and Lola had Coca-Cola in it. They had to change the lyric to Cherry Cola. Not much to it.
Yeah,
You can find both versions on Spotify.
Yeah.
you can. You actually, I forgot about that. There's both versions on there.
I
But
think
yeah,
one of them's called the Cherry Cola version.
yeah, that says that.
I like cherry cola more than Coca-Cola, actually. But then
Yeah.
again, it's good and zero sugar.
I can't stand Cherry Cola.
Yeah, you don't like anything with cherry, do you?
I don't. I really don't.
I didn't like cherries, bro.
I don't like cherries.
Hey,
You
he
don't like
doesn't
cherry
like
pie either?
cherries. He doesn't like cherries.
There's gonna be an all-out war in about 5 seconds.
Hey,
But she's
I
my
like
cherry pie.
He doesn't like cherries, then he doesn't like cherries. Now let's move on.
Okay.
All right.
See, Justin, I got your back.
Thank you.
Do you though? Literally or
I
figuratively?
prefer them peaches.
Peaches.
All right, order in the court.
I take a ham on rye. I digress. So, anyways, Justin's pick. Back over to Vinny, right? Yeah.
No, Justin,
Yes.
what was your pick?
That was my pick.
We swiped
Well,
right again, so I'm sorry.
All right, Vinny, what do you got?
So the next song on the list is also a song that many people know. But this is the thing. The banning did not work. So I'm sure all of you know Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh, I was thinking about this too.
Relax.
Don't do
Banned by
it.
the BBC for
You want to go
homoerotic
do it?
content. They still are one of the biggest bands in 1984.
Yes.
Still charted like high. Let me check the exact chart placement, but it's like. Let me check. I have it out
Go
back.
do it if you want to get through
Great
it.
song too. It flew to number one after it was banned by the BBC, which is
Wow.
kind of insane. It's also
What's he-
insane that they only had one real album. The second album, Liverpool, being okay, but nowhere near as gigantic as Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Also, fun fact about Welcome to the Pleasure Dome: the original album art was banned for a very obvious reason. So there's another part of censorship in this. So the original album art was supposed to have, I don't even know. I don't feel very uncomfortable saying it. They were supposed to have animals. They're supposed to make drawings of animals in different positions from the Kama Sutra. That did not happen. They put like a drawing of the band on there instead. It's much better in my opinion, because animals, Kama Sutra. What the hell, guys? I know you're trying to be radical, and you're basically extremely edgy for your time, and great. That's a line that I draw right there. That's just disgusting to me that they even wanted to have that as artwork.
Yikes.
Yeah. Frank Hills of Hollywood, the band in 1984. Of course, they did a great cover of Born to Run as well, among numerous others. But yeah, that is definitely relax. A song people wear shirts of, like Frankie says, relax. They do not understand what they mean, a lot of these people wearing the shirts.
Yeah, and there was an image that somebody was wearing, and it said on something on the album cover that said, "All the boys love seamen."
That explains a lot, too. They had a lot of t-shirts that Frankie says, relax. I one that said, Frankie says, arm the homeless. There was a few weird shirts they had. The Frankie say part says stuff.
And you know what's so funny is we always think that the UK, when it comes to this stuff, that they're more liberal.
They're
That
not.
wasn't always the case, especially in Margaret Thatcher's England.
Yeah, but no, nowadays, like how we in the US have the FCC, in the UK, it's basically their mentality is if you don't like it, change the channel.
Yeah, it's been a mentality a long time.
To all of our UK listeners out there, we love you. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what? Because this is really shows, and this isn't on my list, but I'll bring it up. You know what song they actually banned?
What song?
Since we're talking about the UK, and this is actually pretty weird. We hear it every Halloween.
What song?
I was working in the lab late one night when my
Monster
eyes
Mash?
beheld an eerie sight. Yep.
What version did they ban? The Beach
The
Boys
Bobby Boris
cover
Pickett
or the
version.
regular?
The Bobby Boris Pickett version.
The original.
What does it even have to be banned about? They didn't like his accent of his voice?
No, they thought it was too macabre.
Oh my god.
Have they not heard some news come out of Britain saying that?
They thought it was too macabre.
Have they not heard they got that gothic music from Britain, like Bauhaus?
Like, if you think this is an issue, then that says more about you than it does about them.
It really does. I yield.
But no. I'm sorry I hijacked your pick there, Vinny.
Oh, no worries.
But no, we're trying to make a point here is that Britain wasn't always as liberal as they are now. But, okay. Well, guess it's my turn, and here's one. Since Vinny took one of my picks, but we collaborated. Relax was banned because of sexual content.
Yeah.
Here's a big one that was banned. And actually, the music video was banned. And it was by a friend of the show, Madonna.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Madonna, you're 6, you're almost 70 now. Please leave us alone.
Yeah.
The song "Like a Prayer."
Not like a virgin? I'm just kidding.
The song "Like a Prayer" was, if anyone saw the video, because, and you know what? I'll say it. I actually do like the song.
I don't like Madonna. It's just catchy stuff. I hate Madonna as a human being. It ruined my liking of her music. But
remember when we did, what was it, most hated Christmas songs, and we shat on her version of Santa Baby? We're like,
yeah.
Madonna, leave me alone. Don't seduce me. I just want to decorate my tree in peace.
Yeah, I will never forgive her version of Santa Baby. It's just disgusting.
If anyone saw the video, the music video, because she was dancing like in a really skimpy outfit in a church, and she was making out with a statue of a saint.
Awkward.
That's very, yeah.
And as you could all probably tell, the Catholic Church did not take it too well.
I agree with them, kind of. Why would he make out with a statue of a saint, Madonna? Come on.
And then what happened was the American Family Association and also the Vatican condemned its music video.
Yeah.
And then it was used in a Pepsi commercial.
Mm.
It was used in a Pepsi commercial. And a bunch of religious groups protested. And after that, Pepsi canceled the advertising campaign.
Oh.
And then, and you think that's the worst of it, do you?
Nope.
There was a boycott that was called by Pope John Paul II.
Yeah.
When she was touring in Italy. He called for people to boycott her concert.
Isn't he a saint now?
Yeah, Saint John Paul II.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like Madonna at all. So
Are you okay? Is it because of the song, or just because your hatred of Madonna?
Hatred of Madonna.
You know what? I respect that.
There's certain stuff she's just not. I don't like her. The way she is about certain things, there's some things that she did.
Yeah, why keep your crowd waiting for 3 hours?
And of course, her book about her romantic conquests. She had a book about that. She's a disgusting person. Some things she does need to be censored. But she has some other.
Why are you going to keep us waiting for 3 hours? Remember that concert a couple years ago? She kept the crowd waiting for like 3 hours.
That's not even compared to some. That's not bad. Axl Rose would keep crowds waiting for hours and cancel too.
Like, oh, excuse us, Madonna. We're taking time out of our day to come see you.
Did she actually show up though?
Yeah, she showed up.
Better than Axl Rose in the 90s and 2000s. I'll give her that.
Yeah, but anyway, but this song was actually banned in Egypt.
Oh, really?
And I think in Russia too.
Wow.
Well, it was Soviet Union. That makes sense.
But no, the music video. I think the music video was more controversial than the
song itself.
Than the song itself.
Like a prayer?
Yes.
Okay.
You had that on your list too, didn't you?
No, but it's Madonna.
Madonna, leave me alone. She's a friend of the show, isn't she?
Enemy of me.
It's okay.
We know you're watching us, Madonna. Okay, why am I making Madonna jokes? It's not the 90s anymore. I can't make those jokes anymore.
Yeah, that is. It is kind of played out.
You can't.
Okay.
All right. Is it my go or no?
Yeah, I think it's your go.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I was just going over my list. I'm like, I only have two more, so this is one of two. Letting you know right now because this list was pretty hard to make. But the more I thought about it, the more when I was making my list was, I don't know if you guys have ever heard all 16 minutes of this song, but it was a top 5 hit in the 70s. Love to love you, baby.
Yeah, I know this.
I
don't know. Have you guys ever heard of Donna Summer at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know Donna Summer. I never heard of this.
Last Dance.
Oh.
Last Dance. Last Dance.
This is a hold on. This is a 17-minute song that charted that number, I think 2 or 3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, I did a little history on it at the time.
Because I didn't know it was that long, but I know the song.
Yeah, but the reason why it got banned was, or at least very severely, pretty much almost banned, or if it was banned, if I'm not mistaken, was if you listen to it, and I'm trying to make this as clean as I possibly can, but if you listen to this song, it might spark emotions and tension.
Come on.
I'm not kidding. And the noises she makes in the song are like very sexually driven.
Yes.
Very, very like if you listen to all 17 minutes, there's a lot of moaning, there's a lot of panting, there's a lot of breathing, and needless to say, it could get your average listener turned on. We keep the show PG-13, but still, that's just facts.
Yeah,
just facts. Vinny, I mean, I feel like Vinny knows what I'm talking about a little bit, right?
I know, and I wish I did not. I do have her 20-minute cover of MacArthur Park though for a live album,
and it's funny.
I don't like this song; it's just disgusting to me.
A lot of songs back then were like really long. Like there's a 10-minute cut of Disco Inferno by the Tramps, which was
great song, I might add.
Yes,
Beach Boys had their 10-minute disco song too. Here Comes the Night.
Exactly.
A whole episode, long, epic length songs that rule. There's so many of those.
It's not a bad idea. We could do that at one point too. But what I was going to say was that this is a 17-minute song that a lot of people were dancing to on the dance floor back in the 70s when disco was like enormous.
Yeah,
disco was like the hot thing. People were dancing to "Love You, Baby" live in Studio 54 in disco rooms or dance clubs across the country.
It was a very early disco hit, wasn't it?
It was one of the first ones. One of the first ones. But this is, I almost want to get the vinyl of it and just see, because when you have a vinyl, you can see how long a cut is. If you see the length of this, it's like it's 17 minutes of just.
I have her live album somewhere. I think it's shorter on that, but I have it.
I'm glad Vinny cut me off there for a second because I was about to make some very odd sound effects on film. So let's do that. We're not going to go there though. As Justin looks like he's about to fall asleep. No, but needless to say, "Love to Love You, Baby." Great song, just very banned for the right and wrong reasons, I guess you could say, back in the 70s. A little too promiscuous there, Donna. Don't you think so? A little too seductive over there. A little too. I'm done. I'm just kidding. Go on. Anyways, it's Justin's pick now. What do you got, bud?
Okay, so we kind of touched upon this earlier in the show, but I'm making the official announcement. Basically, the entire Beatles discography back in 1966, in the Bible Belt South, of the United States. See, in 1966, the Beatles were doing an interview, and they were talking about the Beatles' impact on youth culture, and John Lennon said that they were more popular than Jesus.
He didn't mean it like that. It was just casually said.
That's what he said, and he said it very matter of factly. It wasn't a boast. It was an observation. He just thinks that he just thought that the youth were taking more precedence in rock and roll bands than religion at that period in time. But that's not how the good old boys in the South interpreted it.
Yeah.
Nope.
As I said earlier, there were radio stations that were actually organizing demolitions of Beatle memorabilia, records, all that stuff. There were interviews of heartbroken fans who are so disappointed in the Beatles for what they said. Like, they were just really buying into this whole shame on John Lennon. They were really trying to cancel these guys.
Yeah,
this is before cancel culture was a thing.
And
I give a fun fact. There's a very famous photo of the Beatles, one of the Beatles record burnings. Do you know what the photo I'm talking about, Justin? There's a person on the front smiling. There's this person holding the Beatles album and about to throw it in the fire.
I think I've seen that picture.
Fun fact: personal fan, artist I'm a fan of by the name of Todd Rundgren had a band called Utopia. He used that very photo for an album cover, and he put his album cover in place of a Beatles one. But yeah, it's a very fun fact about that whole thing.
Well played.
Yeah.
But no, Justin, I remember there was a documentary I saw years ago on YouTube about it. If I find it, I'll send it to you. And like, there were young people who were trying to justify, like, there were those like, yep, I'm done with the Beatles. Nope, Jesus is king. But there were people who were trying to justify, like, I don't think that's what he really meant. I think he really maybe meant it this way. And people said, you're a Christian. Will you still listen to the Beatles? I don't know. I love their music, but I don't know. Like, there were people who were like, yep, I burnt all my records.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't like when people burn their personal shit, because guess what? That's on you, buddy. You burnt your money. Congratulations.
Exactly.
Like, when Kaepernick was kneeling for the anthem and the other NFL players were doing it and people were burning their NFL jerseys, well, that's $100 down the drain.
Maybe more.
And again, and we said this earlier, those people who, if they're still alive, they're probably thinking, damn,
well, you still bought it.
Those records could have been worth millions.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you become part of the mob.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, everyone is entitled to believe whatever they want. But you got to look at it this way, though, Justin. When you got to look like, in the South, religion is very important down there. Mm-hmm. It's the Bible Belt. So you can understand why people were getting upset.
Right.
But nowadays, when you look at a country where young people are becoming less and less religious, nowadays it wouldn't really be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, didn't the Beatles like stop touring after this?
Yes, but from what I understand, it's actually from another incident in a different country. Look up the Beatles Filipino incident.
Okay, I'll look that up later.
Part of that.
From what I understand, that's what really pushed the Beatles to stop touring.
And wasn't it also because their music was getting too complex to do on stage with just 4 people?
Yes.
Yeah, it's around that time as well.
To an extent,
Revolver.
All right, it's back. Are you good, Justin?
Yeah, I'm good.
Back
All
to
right.
Vinny.
Back to Vinny. What do you got, bud?
So I think I have one more song. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember exactly what I was going to pick for that. I
No
think
worries.
I think I have one.
I have
So
one more.
another band I've heard of that also had very bad issues with certain lyrics is a band called Venom. They were one of the what's it called? The pioneers of black metal, which is like a darker, sort of more extreme metal. They had an album called Possessed, which had a song on the Filthy 15. I'm trying to remember the exact song title because Possessed by Venom, by the album by Venom. I'm Possessed. Venom's song Possessed is off on the Filthy 15. This is a case where, although I don't want to admit it, it was not a good choice. There's other material. If they wanted to censor something, good, could they have picked, like, I don't know, In League with Saint, a ton of songs they could have picked otherwise. This wasn't even a good album, so them trying to be more mainstream. Why would they want to go after them for that? I don't know, but as you can tell, there was probably a reason why people wanted to go after them, because there was very edgy material, because of the whole Satan element and everything. Also ties in with basically Satanic Panic in general. Judas Priest, of course, their song Better by You, Better Than Me, which they were going to censor that song. I think they had, more or less, because there's two kids who unfortunately took their own lives listening to the song. Judas Priest brought to court on it, but they blamed Judas Priest for writing the song, which is like, here's the thing. One of the quotes because they said it was subliminal messaging in the songs. Better by You, Better Than Me is by a cover of a band called Spooky Tooth. Judas Priest covered it. That happened. Ton of controversy. And one of the quotes is, because this went nowhere, this Lost Cinema. They're like, I don't remember which one of them said. I think it was Ian Hill said, it'll be 10 years before I can spell the word subliminal. So, I pretty much says, yeah, we didn't mean to do this. So, why censor us? Metal in general had a rough time in the 80s and more in the non-mainstream areas. Really did. Had great commercial success, a lot of controversy. I yield.
Okay, it's my turn. All right. You know, we've talked about songs being banned for certain reasons, but, you know, I'm going to at least take a little bit of a different direction. There were songs that were banned for certain circumstances. And listen, there are multiple things we could discuss here. And I actually just found out about this list tonight on June 11th, this year of our Lord, 2025. And I'm not going to get into it. I'll get into my pick in a minute, but I'm giving my spiel. There was a list of 67 songs that were banned by the BBC during the Persian Gulf War.
Oh.
Did y'all know that?
No.
Jeez. Persian Gulf?
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm hogging here. I'll get to my picks in a minute. But would you like to know some of that was on the list?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to jump around. I'll give you I'm not going to go into details. I'll just give you a few. Back in the USSR was on that list.
Oh, my God.
Why?
I don't know. Love is a Battlefield was on the list.
I don't get it.
Nope.
In the Air Tonight was on the list.
Come on, that drum break, but it did it. How dare them make it so people can't hear that drum solo?
Maybe it reminded too many people of bombs.
Yeah,
John Lennon's Imagine.
They are always looking for a reason to ban that.
Yeah.
They kind of are. And Killer Queen by Queen. This is for JT and Vinny. I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense, actually.
It does. There's no
No,
denying
but
it.
that song's about like passion, isn't it?
It's about sexual tension and passion. It's definitely not about people being lit on fire.
Yeah.
No.
And also, we all know the infamous 2001 Clear Channel memorandum after 9/11.
Yep, and that's what I was going to talk about.
Hey, you know what, Justin? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna temporarily yield. I'll let you talk about it. We can open the floor. Sound good? And we'll come back to me. Sound good, Justin?
All right, that sounds good.
Is that okay with you, fine gentlemen?
Looks to me.
Good.
So back in 2001, Clear Channel Radio, which is now known as iHeartRadio, for those of you who don't know.
I heart bankruptcy.
Go on.
After 9/11, they put out this memorandum to all of their affiliate radio stations, recommending them not to play a lot of songs.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said the word recommended, because this, contrary to popular belief, this wasn't a ban.
Yes, Snopes did a bit of an investigation. There wasn't an official ban, but the list does exist.
It was more of a, hey, we're not saying don't play these, just err on the side of caution.
And apparently there has been one or two circumstances where they got affiliate channels got complaints for playing songs on that list. One of them being, listen to this, Kool and the Gang Celebration.
What? We saw them live too.
Yeah, they were good.
They were cool.
And the gang.
Yeah, but no.
That one I'm a little more understanding of, because I get it. It was a national tragedy. Maybe playing happy-go-lucky celebratory music is not the best way of going.
Like, that's not like being making fun or insulting the tragedy. That's just in bad taste.
Yeah.
That's just bad taste.
But like, you have songs on the list like Ruby Tuesday. Ruby Tuesday. I'm sorry. I'm just hungry right now. You have New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. New York State of Mind, I think, was on that list.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't on that list?
It was not on that list.
Only Good Young was, though.
And that was ridiculous. Because I've looked into this list too, and listen, Justin, you're not planning on going through every single song, are you?
No. Although special mention to Rage Against the Machine, who managed to get their entire discography on their list.
That makes sense, actually.
I don't know if we should stand up and applaud or boo them for that.
Oh, I applaud.
In certain cases,
I applaud the band.
Yeah, but what I was saying about Only the Good Die Young, it's like a lot of these songs, just because of the title, they no. Like, Only the Good Die Young.
Some of it was just because it involved Living on a Jet Plane by Peter, Paul, and Mary was on the list.
Yes, because it had the word plane in it. Benny and the Jets by Elton John. Because it had the word jets in it. And it had nothing to do with planes. It has to do with corruption of the music industry. We're getting back to Only the Good Die Young. It's about Billy Joel trying to get with a Catholic girl.
Literally.
Yes.
Those songs have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
There were 3 Beatles songs on that list.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, because of the word sky.
Back in the USSR?
No, that wasn't on the list.
That's surprising.
A Day in the Life.
Come on, I love A Day in the Life.
It's,
You know what?
it's
Why
my
I think,
favorite Beatles song.
You know why I think he blew his mind out in a car.
That makes sense, actually, but
And Ticket to Ride.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
Ticket to
got
Ride
a
was on the
ticket
list.
to ride.
You know what? Here are my thoughts on it. Justin, guys, I'll let you have your thoughts in a second, but I think the list was made by people who had good intentions.
yeah.
But I think they just went way too overboard. And I think they just, like, reading the list. And like I said, we're not going to go through every single song. That's a whole show on its own. You know what? Because I was actually talking to the guys beforehand. We have a show scheduled the day before 9/11 anniversary. So you know what? Maybe if you guys are cool, we could just do that. Just go through the list.
That's a good idea.
What do you guys, J-Man, Justin?
I'd be down for
Sure,
that
go
because
ahead.
I have some thoughts that I was gonna use for this episode that I can definitely save for that.
If you want to
Yeah.
say them right now, go right ahead. People will probably forget in 3 months.
I mean, they put Dancing in the Streets, the original, and the Van Halen cover on that.
Not the Mick Jagger,
But
David.
not the Mick Jagger and David Bowie version.
Oh, trust me, there's a lot of things I have with that list, and it's like but when I'm reading this list, I'm thinking, did you people even listen to the damn song?
I'm beginning to think no in certain cases.
They just look at the title, they're like, leaving on a jet plane, okay, put it on the list. Benny and the Jets, guess what? Put it on the list. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Oh, sky. You know what goes in skies? Planes. Put that on the list.
New York, New York. Oh, that's where the planes hit.
List.
Jesus.
No, seriously, that was their reasoning.
I know.
Tuesday. Oh, 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. Put that on the list.
See you in September. Oh, wait. September 11th. List. And I just want to say something. We are not making fun of the tragedy that happened.
Yeah.
We're making fun of the morons at Clear Channel Radio who...
They're not very smart.
Nope. Not at
No
all.
wonder they rebranded to iHeartRadio.
You know, iHeartRadio should do, right? iHeart bankruptcy.
Jesus Christ, Minnie.
You know, listen. Again, we're not going to get into
iHeart liquidation.
Yes.
We're not going to get into the whole list. We'll save that for September, won't we, guys?
Yes.
You know what? I'm looking forward to this now. I cannot wait till we do a show where we absolutely rip this list apart. Are you guys in for that?
Sure.
I can in good conscience say that I look forward to anything involving 9/11.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. Justin. You know.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Dark.
I mean, I can't wait to make fun of this list. That's all I was saying, folks. I can't wait to make fun of the list.
Hashtag cancel Bill.
Justin, you understand.
I know. I was just joking.
Okay, but no. Come September, we're going to be taking on the infamous Clear Channel memorandum. I cannot wait. But, yeah. But anyway, can I go back to what my picks were going to be?
Yes.
Okay, these are three all tied into one, and this is actually about a different tragedy. On December 14th, 2012, Adam Lanza went to Sandy Hook Elementary School and killed students. And radio stations reacted to certain songs, three in particular. One was Titanium by David Guetta.
Okay.
Because it included the lyrics.
Bulletproof.
Because I'm bulletproof.
Fire away, fire away.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go through those three, and we say banned and justified or not. You know what? I'm gonna say this one was justified.
Yeah.
This one was absolutely justified.
If I'm thinking of the other two, I think that's the mildest one.
Yeah, I would think so. Of those three, of those, yeah, but there was David Guetta, Titanium, Bulletproof, Fire Away, which I think that banning was justified. What do you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then the other two. Okay, this one is, I understand why they banned it, but it's kind of iffy. It was the song Die Young by Kesha.
Yeah, makes sense, but
you know that song? Let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young.
I remember that song.
It's a great song, but it's just so like, I know. Sorry.
And like, here's an interesting fact. That song, because the day Sandy Hook happened.
Oh God, that came out.
That song was actually at number 2 on the Billboard charts.
Oh,
no.
And after that happened, they actually banned, they took the airplay off. And Kesha gave I don't want to say a non-apology, but she gave a very mixed. At first, she's saying, yes, I understand why you guys are pulling the song. I totally understand why you guys are pulling the song. And then she went on to say, hey, but I had no control over the lyrics.
I mean, to be fair, she really didn't. If you know Kesha's story, she didn't have much control over any of her music.
Yeah.
And she said, I didn't have much control over the lyrics, but I support the song's message. I'm like, Kesha, just stop at I understand why the song is getting pulled. Just stop there.
Pretty much.
This is not the time to you to be defending yourself. Just take the L and just say, yes, I recommend I understand why the song is being banned, and if radio stations thinks this is appropriate, then I understand. Because every time a tragedy happens, the radio stations, they always go to, how would you guys describe it? They always change their music to more, help me out here. Yes, they always put on like Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton, or Wind Beneath My Wings by Beth Midler, or Angel, or I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
And when it gets to the Kesha thing, here's what I think. Because the song Die Young, it's about living life to the fullest.
Yes.
It's about living life to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
And, that old saying, living every day like it's your last.
Sure.
But the thing is, I think when you just had a bunch of kids just killed, I don't think that's the best song to be playing.
I agree.
I really think that's just in very poor taste. And here's an interesting fact. When after that happened, like I said, on that day, Die Young was actually number 2 on the charts.
Wow.
And was actually number 2 on the charts, and it dropped immensely because of lack of airplay. And that was the largest drop of a top Billboard song since when the Dixie Chicks made the comments about George W. Bush.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Wow.
But that was a totally different situation. So
yeah.
But here they just stopped playing it because we don't think it's appropriate right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And the last one they banned, and it's a song actually about a school shooting.
Pumped Up Kicks?
Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People.
Yeah, they had a point on that one.
They actually, when that song, but to be fair, Titanium and Die Young were relatively recent songs.
Yes.
This song was like, what, 5-6 years old at the time? Hold on, the internet exists.
See, I thought it was 2011.
Wait, no, I think that song is older. Let me look. 2010. Okay, so still relatively
Old.
relatively recent.
And the song was controversial even when it came out.
That's true. Because Justin, you know anything about that?
Just it's about a school shooting. Anyone who remember Columbine and Virginia Tech and all those school shootings that we heard about growing up, like,
Because we and because here's the thing, the bassist of the band, I didn't know if you guys knew this, the bassist of the band, his cousin was actually a Columbine survivor.
I didn't know that.
And the song was actually written about his cousin's experience.
Aw.
And because at that point, Justin, getting back to your point there were people calling radio stations saying, "Why are you playing this song? Turn it off." Because at this point, this song was about 3 years after Virginia Tech, and then 2 years, of course, before Sandy Hook.
yeah.
And yeah, you know what? I think this banning was 100% justified.
Amen to that.
Absolutely.
Understandable.
And I like the song, though. I like the song.
It's very catchy, but
I know.
You know what?
So annoying.
Do you have guys? Justin? You said it's catchy, and I agree. Do you have any guilt, like singing along to this song?
I do to an extent.
See, I find myself more whistling along to it, so I try to tell myself that's a little better.
Yeah.
And listen, I should have said this from the beginning. We're not knocking the quality of these songs.
Nope.
We're just telling you these songs were banned. We're not saying whether we like them or dislike them.
Or agree or disagree with the band.
Well, in this part, we kind of are.
Okay, yes, we are. But
I think this was a different, like, when songs get banned for things like sexual content or drug use, I'm like, seriously? But in these type of situations, I kind of understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, this is a sensitive time. You don't want to, cause any people to get even more upset than they already are.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think playing songs about, living the night like you're gonna die young, or playing songs about school shootings is really the best thing to be doing at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think I talked a little bit about the BBC Persian Gulf thing. We talked about the Clear Channel memorandum again coming in September. We're going to deep dive more into that. But this, I understand why they ban these songs. Like I said, BBC and Clear Channel, it's flimsy. Their reasoning is at best flimsy. Okay, some of them they had decent reasons, but some. Again, more on that in September. But these three, I understand why they did it. I think it was totally appropriate. You guys agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, since I yielded to Justin, okay, it's down to you two gentlemen.
Vinny, go ahead.
I don't have another one.
Oh, Justin, you want to go yet or no?
That was my last one.
Oh, well, I guess we're good then. How about that? We're doing great, everyone. Yippee. That was a long discussion.
Hey, but you know what? It was an interesting discussion.
It sure
It
was.
absolutely was. So, but yeah. This is a very good topic. Thank you. Bill, you came up with this one?
I came up with it.
Bill, what? Never, ever doubt Bill. Ever. So,
I've had a couple of weeks where I've been a little off, but you know what? I'm back.
He's back. And he's better than ever, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
I digress. We want to thank you for watching, listening, however you enjoy tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into our podcast. As always, I want to thank first and foremost Justin and Vinny's input. Of course, their music knowledge is unparalleled and unparred. Thank you so much, Bill. You have a sports something?
Sports Insanity podcast. Check us out. We're on all platforms. NBA Finals coming up. No, they're here. Sorry, NBA Finals here. Stanley Cup Finals. Baseball in full swing. Gosh, before we know, it's gonna be football season. So check us out, Sports Insanity Podcast. We're on all podcast platforms, and we are on YouTube.
It's almost like the sports season's a whole year round.
I know,
sure
right?
is.
Isn't it fantastic?
Isn't it great? Baseball and hockey, baby. No, I'm just kidding. And rugby to all of our UK and European listeners out there.
Don't forget cricket.
Any news on the cross?
That's gonna do it for us, everyone. Thanks so much for watching and listening. But for all of us here, the Super Review Show, stay safe, take care, and
Take care.
Be awesome.